Okay, so in case it's not obvious, I am doing freighter missions. And for the simple reason of getting S-class mods for my freighter. Which, technically speaking, for this particular campaign, game save, I don't even have yet. It's a quiet Friday afternoon. It's my day off. And, well, I'm having fun. Yeah, I changed my tone when I said fun because, let's face it, this is friggingly boring to the max. So, yes, it's going to be one of those videos where he complains about the game. Don't like it? You can leave right now. I'm going to try to make it tongue-in-cheek, but let's address the first issue, is what's up with this fog? And I don't understand why the game developers at Hello Games love fog so much. You go to a monolith or a plaque, the good chance is there's going to be ground fog. You go to Portal. Well, to date, I can't remember ever seeing a Portal that did not have ground fog. You land on a derelict freighter in space. You have ground fog. Excuse me, it's space. There's no way this freighter generates enough gravity to retain an atmosphere around it. So why is there ground fog? Yeah. And they're all like this, all I've seen today. Which, of course, leads into the next complaint. How incredibly boringly all alike they are. Now, this one does not have any bugs. I'm very happy to say. It's from a video I got on YouTube, just jumping into the coordinates and just doing the ship. And if I remember, I will post the coordinates at the end of the video. At least I hope I remember. Sorry if I don't ahead of time. So this one doesn't have bugs. The other ship that I've been at has pulsating sacks. Stay away or else they explode. Just riddle them with plasma bombs and that's pretty much it. I've seen early on some ship where there are crab creatures. I'm assuming they're coming from the pulsating sacks, but that's an assumption. But that's it. Either nothing, crab creatures, or pulsating sacks with I don't know what's inside. Well, after you've done it a few times, boring. So let's mix it up a little bit. You know, every once in a while you read these reports from the crew. You know, so-and-so's gone demented, so-and-so lost his fingers. This thing exploded in the cargo hold. There's one of them right here. Let's have a read through it. Cargo manifest. Ooh, simulated consciousness chips, compressed indiums, refurbished security droid. Well, okay. Refurbished security droids. Well, imagine this. The expeditions, you have reports, and again, after a while, they're all the same. But one of the reports is something was, put on board your ship, what really was a bomb or something else, and it was meant to disable your frigates so the pirates could attack you and, steal your stuff. Well, how about these security droids that we just read about, doing that, and they're still on the ship. You have to deal with them. How about the crew collected some fauna described as swift, agile predators, feral. Crew member made a mistake of going feeding individual. Individual apparently figured out how to unlock cage of other individuals by watching crew member. Animals loose on board the ship. Oh, hey, that's a brand new whole lot of fun right there. How about, hey, as you fly up to the ship, you didn't do a scan, you missed the pirate shuttle that's still docked on the other side of the ship. And you have pirates on board. You have to kill pirates. Well, in a minute or so, I offered you 3 alternative environments or threats to deal with, as opposed to non-crabs, pulsating sacks. You now have also droids. Wolves, mutated dogs, whatever you want it to be. Another thing in which is very boring and disregards, I don't know what it is, and maybe I'm assuming too much a generality here, but there's this thing in Destiny that drives everyone crazy, is there arrives a certain point in the storyline where the darkness starts, doing what the game is doing right here, right now, slowing you down. And Destiny, by Bungie, is very much a maneuvering game, a movement game. 3/4 of what your Guardian is able to do is really depend on him being able to move. If you get in too much of a jam, you can just run out of the room, and generally the enemy can't follow you. Pretty much exception would be the trolls. They're so fast. But, please tell me there's a freighter available. Ugh, not exactly pretty. Okay, that reminds me a lot of the one I already have for the other campaign. Come on. And I have the one that looks like that's got wings. No, of course not. Seriously now, I'm not asking for a Star Destroyer, just something different than I have that's not but ugly. Partnership missing? Anyway, kind of lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, we're talking about the movement thing. I mean, trying to do a speed run through one of these things is very frustrating. There you are, literally moving like molasses. Well, how about when you read the report and there's a problem with the gravity, let's shake it up a little bit. On one ship, there is no gravity. You have to use your jetpacks. You have to swim from one end of the ship to the next. That's all there is. That's the only option. All right? And before anyone screams, well, what do you mean the only option? Well, currently we only have one option when we're on board a ship, so. But, some other ship, it could be a case of the gravity fluctuates. Now there you are, walking around and being careless, and suddenly you hit a no gravity, or even worse, reverse gravity patch, and you're flying towards the ceiling. Or how about light gravity, as opposed, and that could lead you to missing stuff because you're going so fast. The gravity is light. So, okay, here, I've multiplied by 4 the environment options in literally 2 minutes of just talking. So we've dealt with internal threats, we've dealt with the environment. Let's deal with the layout. While I can applaud that ships that look alike are probably the same manufacturer, probably the same series, models, whatever, might have a very similar layout, that they all have exactly the same layout just because they're in the same system, and worse, it's all the same ship in the system, despite these things have hyperdrives and are able to go from system to system. Yeah, just a little bit, again, boring. It is perhaps practical from the point of view of, well, you've done one ship in one system, you know the layout. As you can see, I'm just completely ignoring the side rooms because I'm not blundering into them. So there is that offsetting consideration, but want to make it a game option. You know, you have 10 freighter scan tokens for this. Do you want to use them all in the system? Do you want it to be the same ship? Yes, yes, no, no, whatever. A simple example of how this could be done differently is the basic layout of the ship. You know, one of the ships make it, you know, completely horizontal. The other one make it completely vertical. So for example, the horizontal one would be inspired by my first freighter, Dave's Campaign, where there's a main corridor. There's no option for making it larger than other corridors, but it's the main one. It literally starts off the door from the bridge and just keeps going all the way to the end. And I have corridors branching off of that. So here you are, you're going down this main corridor, you have branches. Some of those branches lead to a sealed door, you know, it's welded shut, you can see blaster impact marks or a whole bunch of, you know, freight stacked up against it. You know, a little bit like they have in the Aliens game. It's very clear they don't want you to go through that door. The other ones would be the side rooms. So here you have a slightly different arrangement where you could miss something important by just running down the corridor to the very end. Vertical arrangement. Well, yeah, you have 4 decks. And you have to go through the 4 decks to get to the engineering, which makes kind of sense at the center of the ship where the engines are. And how about crew quarters? Why don't we have any crew quarters? Oh yeah, we have these little bunk bed things, which, ironically enough, we don't have for our freighters. We cannot do bunk rooms that way, and I would love to do that because, well, yeah. How many people are there on my freighter? Probably a few hundred if you think about it, but no option to do that. So I'm running a bit out of steam here. So let's go over this very quickly. I talked about the environment, the gravity. Talked about the threats you face. Talked about the layout. Well, how about lighting? How about in one ship, there is no light, there's no power, there's no option of restoring anything. You just have to walk your way through the ship using the torch, the flashlight. Another one, have functioning lights. Cool, no problem. And, you know, another setup would be variable lighting. You know, you come around a corner and the room's black, and if you're not careful, you just walk into the black room, and next thing you know, you got crabs or whatever. You know, the feral predator pack hunters I described a moment ago. So, what are we looking at here? 4 different things that you can add stuff to, you know, change or give different combinations. Well, 3 times 3 is 9, times 2 is 18, times 4. Wow, high school math is a long time ago, 64. So just by doing that, you would add 64 permutations, options. And suddenly, you know, doing freighters wouldn't be so frigging boring. But the last one is the reward. I probably did this a long time ago, back when I first started playing the game. Oh, there's this vendor guy and he sells salvage ships. Oh, let's go to freighter. Let's get stuff. And probably by the time I finished, I said, why am I ever going to do this again? I got green mods. I'm sorry, I've been playing the game for a few weeks now. I have blue mods and pink mods for pretty much everything I have. Green mods don't help me at all. Oh yeah, I'm getting a whole lot of stuff, but it's slow and tedious to get to it. again, the reward versus the amount of time spent is ridiculous. It's a little bit like strikes in Destiny versus multiplayer. Strikes were fire team base missions where you went from A to B to C to D, D being a boss fight, and yay. Well, these things took back in D1 30 to 45 minutes to do. You had to do 3 of them to get random guns and armor. Compare and contrast that to multiplayer. Typical match was 10 minutes. You got random weapons and armor offered to you after each match. Okay, random doesn't mean it's great every time, but hey, you could sell it for in-game money or scrap it for upgrade parts. But it took 10 minutes, and let's face it, while I'm not suggesting player versus player No Man's Sky, it's still a lot more entertaining than I am walking through the same corridor in slow mode because it's 20 degrees below, and God knows that my character can't walk fast in 20 degrees below when he can walk fast when it's 90 degrees below. Yep, sorry, gripe, Canadian here. It's cold, we get it. So I haven't done this in a very long time, but if you want to encourage the players, maybe just maybe as you're going through the ships, you get the first mod you get is something similar to what you already have. So the game should take into context where you are playing the game. 2, by the end, you should get a higher level mod. Each time should go higher. It would be, then there'd be a point of slugging it out all the way to the very end, as opposed to you're randomly doing this one system after another until you find a freighter where the mods are actually going to be something you need and can use. Because let's face it, with one gold or S-Class hyperdrive mod, I doubled the range on my freighter compared to the 4 or 5 blue mods I had. I mean, they were like 50 light years each. I get an S-Class and it's like, hey, here's 400 light years. Drop it in a superpower slot and you got like 1,000 light years. Okay, don't remember exactly what the S-Class mods numbers were, but you get the spirit, right? Also, I think personally that I wish they would break up the mod chart, or whatever you want to call it, on the ship. So you could just, with a title, hyper mods here, scanner mods here, weapon mods here, fuel mods here. So you would group them as opposed to, unless you actually watch a video by somebody telling you that they work better if they're close together, just put them randomly down on your freighter as you get them. Of course, that's another thing. There is nothing in game to guide you, and as much as the Ghost, a little robotic light in Destiny, could be really, really, really annoying at times. I can't open this door. You can bring me back from the dead. You can bring a ship back that's been rusting away for hundreds of years, but you can't open this one door, really. But at least the little guy would, occasionally helpful. We're the first humans to have been here in thousands of years. Guardian, or isn't it not exciting? Then, of course, the game would mess up by having another player run by as the Ghost was saying that. So it's like, yeah, right, whatever, buddy. But that's a different issue altogether. So I think I'm going to conclude here because at this point I'm boring myself. And I've been at this for 10-15 minutes, so it's going to make for a long video. But yeah, tweak the game. I don't think Starfield is going to wipe out No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky has a certain charm. It's a bit cartoony. I don't know what Starfield is going to give you as far as options, but just based on the gameplay we've seen so far, well, the simple option of being able to modify your ships along the way you want them to look and the layout you want. You think people went ape when they were given the option of building bases on freighters? When they had the option of building the freighter? Wow. So, fortunately for those of you who enjoy my videos, Starfield is not going to overwhelm the channel next week for a very simple reason that the guy I play with, my cousin, he's holding off on buying Starfield for a few months. Right after he pretty much demanded I would get the game so we could play right off the beginning of September. We're going to have a bit of a chat about that one. But at least it makes for a chuckle. But I am a bit concerned for the boys and girls at Hello Games because Starfield may pull people away from No Man's Sky who are already playing the game, but it may pull away people who could have decided to play the game and decide, no, let's go for the more polished game. So, with that, I wish you a fair and fond farewell, and until next time, my fellow travelers.